Hi, this is James.
And this is Tina.
Welcome to
Whatever Topics.
where we'll be talking about
Anything, whatever pops into our head's gonna pop out of our mouth.
Hope you enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Whatever Topics, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hey Tina,
Hello.
what's going on?
Not much.
You always tell me that.
I know.
Well, anyway.
We're gonna talk about whatever pops up.
Okay, go ahead.
You start.
Alright. I was thinking maybe we would talk about some of the things that happened back in the older days.
Oh, fun stuff.
Like 55 years ago.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't go back that far.
Well, 50 years ago, yeah.
Okay, I can do that, but I don't remember that far back.
Memory is like the wind, it blows right on by.
Exactly.
I was thinking, I was looking at some of these commercials and stuff where I think it was that Pana Aqua water
Uh-huh.
that they found arsenic in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one where they have lead in the water.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Remember that guy says, "Who wants a cup of lead?"
Well, they do say it's an acceptable amount.
Acceptable amount. What's an acceptable amount? And what about arsenic? Did you know that arsenic is a natural found ingredient in water?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in well water.
Maybe that's why they tell you not to, well, they tell you to drink so much a day, but don't go over that, and that may be why.
Yeah, because even water will kill you if you drink too much.
Yep.
So, back when I was growing up, from age 5, well, I got away from the lead in the water. When we moved out of East St. Louis, I was only 5 years old. And they had little lead pipes for all the water. And, you know, back then they had the lead in the paint and everything else. So the lead, I don't think it really affected me. If it did, it gave me more years to my age. Anyway, since I was 5 on up till 18, I lived out on a farm, and we had a well. They had an underground stream that connected to it, and it always stayed full. I don't know. My parents always, about once a month, they'd pour a gallon of bleach and a box of, I think it was baking soda, into that well. And the main reason was because of all the critters and bugs and stuff that got in there.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah. I remember one time standing there and there was a dead rat in their well.
Oh.
Yeah, and so they just took the bucket. You know, we didn't have running water back then. We had the old hand pump, you know, where you pump it out. And then outside at the well, we had a bucket. You could throw the bucket in upside down, and when it hit the water, it would start filling up, and you could bring up a whole bucket full of water with a rope. Well, we just dig that rat out of there with that bucket, just fish him out, throw him away. Lime is what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, and we dump a gallon of bleach and a box of lime in that water, and that would kill all the bacteria and everything that was in it. There was no filters.
No.
It went straight from a steel pipe from the well up to into the house with the hand pump, and oh, that was fun. You know, them old hand pumps you had to carry. Yeah, a little bit. You had to go out and get a bucket of water to prime the pump with.
Okay.
It wouldn't take much, maybe a quarter gallon of water. They always used to carry a bucket of water to keep it in the house. But anyway, if we wanted to pump water out, they would take like a glass and they would fill the pump up with a little bit of water, and they start pumping on it. Well, that would give it pressure to pull the water up through the pipes. There wasn't no valves to stop it from running back into the well. I survived that, you know. I mean, you're talking about people that they can't let their kids ride their bike without knee pads, shoulder pads, helmets, you name it. But here we are back then. We survived drinking that water.
We survived a lot of things. The bicycles with no knee pads, no helmet, and all that, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A few good head bumps and knee scrapes. Oh, well, we got up and did it again.
Yeah, it didn't stop us.
No.
Oh, I thought I'd bring that up because, you know, who wants a cup of lead? Well, I'm telling you, I got some nieces and nephews that have lived under that lead pipes in East St. Louis well, they're still living there. And they're in their 60s.
And they still have lead pipes, huh?
Yeah, they still have lead pipes. unless you go to a new subdivision or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't change all them pipes around. They couldn't. You know, it's like the city was so big. You know, they would really waste a lot of money and time changing them.
Yeah.
And it had a smell to it. I mean, I didn't really like the taste of that water either. I don't think they had filters for the water system back then either.
Ugh.
I just thought I'd bring that one up. Your turn.
Oh, my turn. Oh, geez, what should I talk about today? Oh, okay, how about the one I was telling you about the other day about the 13 stairs that I kind of slid down?
Yeah.
Now, I was living on post, 13 stairs. I get up at the top of the stairs at my neighbor's house. Well, my neighbor's kids decided to put sand on the steps, and I didn't know it. I did okay going up. But boy, when I come down, my foot slipped in it, both feet went up in the air, and down on my butt I went, down 13 stairs. Boom, boom, boom. Hit every single one of them. Let me tell you, it wasn't funny at the time, but now I look at it and I can just picture what my face must have looked like coming down. And I could have won that big prize on America's Funniest Home Videos. But for a month and a half, my backside was totally black, and I walked around like a combination between Frankenstein and Donald Duck. Just call me Frankenduck. And I know it wasn't funny then, but it is really cute now.
Yeah, Frankenduck.
Yep, call me Frankenduck.
You know, we was talking about back when I was a kid, we didn't have no plumbing in the house except for that one water pipe. To heat water, we had to pump it into a kettle and put it on the stove and heat it up. Now, this is a wood stove that we burnt wood or coal in. It was actually a heating stove and cooking stove combination. The whole house only had 3 fuses. The little round fuses that you screw in.
Oh, like the one in Piqua that we had, the round ones? Yeah.
And there was only 3 for that whole house. So, you know, when we had to go to the bathroom, we had to walk to the outhouse.
Oh, I never got the pleasure of having an outhouse.
Oh, man. I've used that outhouse enough to where I've seen it been moved 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, my dad get out there and start digging a hole in the ground, and he'd dig a hole big enough, you know, to where the toilet would sit over it.
Oh,
He'd
fun.
hook the tractor up to it and just slide it up to the hole and lay a couple of boards across the hole, slide the toilet over the hole, and then raise it up enough to drag the boards back out.
Now, we never had an outhouse, but I did have an aunt and uncle, and I never understood it. They had a house, they had indoor plumbing, but they wouldn't use their indoor plumbing. They wanted to use the outhouse.
You got used to it. That's what it is.
But when I went over there, if I had to go to the bathroom, where's the bathroom? You know, it's right over. No, you're going to go out there to the outhouse.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. What is that thing? I'd never seen one before. So it just blew my mind that they had something that you went outside and used instead of indoors.
Wow. Well, you know, we had toilet paper back then.
Yeah.
1-ply stuff.
Oh, yeah, I just love that stuff.
We always had a J.C. Penney's or a Sears Roebuck catalog laying out there.
Oh, there you go.
And I thought at my age, you know, I was getting there to that age where I thought they had it out there so you could look at the pictures of all the girls.
Uh-huh, okay.
Didn't know that, you know, that was supposed to be used for toilet paper if you run out of toilet paper.
Oh, boy.
Because, you know, you walk all the way down there and somebody didn't think to put toilet paper in there, and there you are.
Ugh.
So you use the catalog pages.
Yeah.
That was a rough wipe.
I can imagine so. I've never had that pleasure either.
I heard that some people had 2 corn cobs in their toilet.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they had a black one and a white one.
I am so glad I didn't have to deal with all that.
They take the black one and wipe first, then they take the white one and wipe to see if they still needed to use the black one.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, my God.
Gotcha.
Okay, that would be really gross.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Well, that was our bathroom. It was probably about 300 feet from the house.
I can only imagine what that must have been like if you lived in a state where you could get snow up to your knees and going out in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Well, we had a bucket sitting behind the stove
Okay.
with a piece of plywood or something over the top of it. If we had to go in the middle of the night, we'd just get up and go in the bucket.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, it sounds gross, but
Well, back then, you did what you had to do, and that's the way things were.
a lot of times in the winter we'd use that bucket too, because you ever walk 300 feet? That's 30 yards.
Yeah.
It's almost half a football field. And get out there, and the door would be open because the wind blew it open, and there'd be snow an inch deep on the seat.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, we used to take the couple pages out of the JC Penney catalog, and rush the snow off.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then we'd sit on the toilet for about 10 minutes before we pulled our britches down.
Warm it up.
Warmed it up.
Yep.
Yeah. And in the summertime, we had a wasp nest in there, all 3 or 4 wasp nests that we'd have to fight with before we went in there.
No.
It was different.
It wouldn't be my idea of fun at all.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so that was, we'll get to the bathroom part here in a little bit, because I'm going to talk about when we first got our running water.
Oh, fun. We was talking last time about stupid things people do that I see on the internet. Well, I want to tell you about a stupid thing somebody did that this person I knew, not real smart. He's outside one day and he's weed eating around this tree. Well, he looks up and a snake starts crawling up the tree. Well, the dummy, what does he do? He takes the weed eater, slaps it on that snake. It took that snake and spun it around his legs. He is out there jumping up and down, screaming like a girl. And all I could do was sit there and laugh. And he's screaming at me, "Don't laugh, it ain't funny." And I'm just sitting there laughing. Oh, yes, it is funny. You don't know how stupid you look. Why would you do that with a snake and a weed eater?
Right.
I guess he figured it might cut it in half, but no, around his legs he went.
Oh, man, yeah. Them weed eaters, it's strong to cut one in half. I mean, they'll ball up on a piece of tree stem or something, if it's too big. It's not the right size.
It was comical to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think about some of the things, talking comedy, some of the things my dad used to do. One of my little brothers came in with a battery one day, one of them little 9 volts. And he tells Dad, he says, "Well, I think it's dead. It's not working very good." Dad says, "You know how you check if it's dead or not?" "No." He said, "Okay, stick your tongue on the end of it." Well, of course he did, and he got a little zap, and Dad goes, "Nope, it's still good enough." He learned don't ever listen to Dad.
I see people do that, certain people that do that all the time.
Oh, man.
It don't bother them at all.
No, I'll admit I even did it once, and I just looked at him like, "You're so mean."
I have never done it, so I'm up on you on that one.
Well, you gotta, you're supposed to trust your dad. What can you say?
I think if my dad told me to do that, I'd have to say, nope.
And yeah, I learned from then on, no, you show me.
Yeah, you show me. Show me one more time, Dad.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then my other lesson, we had just got a built-in pool, and we couldn't swim. So he took it and roped it off, and he told us we're going to stay in the shallow end, and we can't get in the deep end until we can dog paddle well enough. Well, he decided one day, okay, you know what, I think you can do it. So he tells me, get on the diving board, jump off. He said, you get off the board, I'll catch you when you come up. I hit the water, and I come up, and all I hear him say is, sink or swim. Oh, my God. In my mind, I knew he wouldn't let me drown, but my instant reaction is, I'm going to die if I don't swim. I learned to swim real quick that way.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and I knew he would have grabbed me, but you don't think about that when you come up and you hear that.
No.
But he taught us life lessons, and they seem really mean, but they weren't. It taught us because he knew that we could do it. We just didn't have enough confidence in ourselves, but he did.
You survived, though.
Yeah, and we survived. So
that's what this is about. This is the survival week, for our podcast.
Yeah.
Now again, getting back to the no bathroom.
Oh yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
We had a porch. It was an old wooden porch that was screened in, and we converted it into a bedroom, and that was my bedroom. They put windows in it, walls and everything, you know, and so it wasn't very big. It was long, a little bit longer than it was wide. So then we decided, you know, they decided that we need a bathroom, you know, something with an indoor toilet and a running sink. So one of my brother-in-laws, they came down one weekend. They live about 60, 70 miles away, and they're going to put a water pump in so we could just run the water out of a faucet, put a new sink in and everything, and fancy sink and cabinets on the wall and everything, you know, to make the house look a lot better. So then they took part of that bedroom and made a bathroom out of it where the back door was.
Yeah.
We had a doorway and then the outdoors, and we converted that into a bathroom, but it was only big enough for a toilet and a sink and a corner cabinet, the whole height of the ceiling, and it had the shelves on there. Well, we had one shelf for toilet paper and toothpaste, stuff like that. And the rest of them, Mom kept her canning stuff in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so when we got this pump, man, that was the big thing, you know. No more drawing water out of the well with a bucket and rope. And we didn't have to go out to the outhouse no more. And it was handy, but you had to lock the back door and lock the other door that went into the kitchen when you go to the bathroom. But wow, that was nice. They put linoleum on the floor and everything. It looked sharp.
There you go.
Yeah. I got to bring up something about this thing going on, this challenge with the ice cream.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to have to, I guess, admit what I've done. You know, these people going in the store and taking the lid off the ice cream and licking the ice cream and putting the lid back on. I did that when I was 8 years old. We'd make homemade ice cream.
Yep.
Out in the backyard. And that's the only way you could tell if it was done or not. we didn't lick we took the container lid off and we licked the lid and see how solid it was yet, and see if it needed any more vanilla or whatever it is that they put in it. And if it sounds all right, tastes all right, we put the lid back on and keep on going. And nobody complained.
Well, of course not, because that's your family. You're not out there doing it in stores for just anybody.
Oh, yeah, that was the best ice cream.
Oh, homemade ice cream is. It's awesome.
It was made with our own milk. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a cow and a bull. We had chickens and pigs. We had some sheep. And so we would take the cow, milk the cow, and we had a pasteurizer. And probably nobody knows what a pasteurizer is right now. A pasteurizer is a container that about the size of the ice cream container that you make ice cream in the barrel. And you take your milk and you put it in that pasteurizer and you turn it on and let it pasteurize all night. It just heats it up, separates the cream from the milk, and you get up the next day and there's cream on top of the milk. Well, you scrape that cream off and put it in another container. What did they call that?
A churn?
Churn, yeah. Well, you're ahead of me. So they take this churn and put the cream in there. And I don't know what else they did to it, but they would churn that cream until it turned into butter. So we had our own milk and our own butter from the cow, had our own eggs from the chicken, had our own pork from the pigs, and then we had a calf that we raised up until it was old enough to turn into some hamburgers and stuff. And so we filled our freezer up with all this stuff. We had chickens that we would take our chickens and chop their heads off and watch them flop around on the ground.
I would not have the heart to do that. I'll be the first to admit it.
But we do that and then stick them in boiling water and get their feathers soft to where we can pull them out. So anyway, get all the glory stuff out of there. Gory. We filled our freezer up with chickens, pork, beef, bacon, and back then the sausage. We would have it all processed at another place. You know, they come out and kill the animal and take it in, and they would process it. And they give us a package of sage. So the sausage is just plain sausage. It
Yeah.
didn't have real taste like a pork chop. You know. So did the bacon. until you put some sage on it, and then that gave it the bacon flavor. But the sage, we put it in the sausage however we liked it. So, we didn't have to go to the store and buy this stuff and run chances of E. coli and different things that they keep coming out with. The cows were good shape. They wasn't, half dead when they butchered them and things like that. So I think a lot of that's got to do with how long we live.
The bad thing is I honestly don't have the heart to raise an animal to have it killed, because I get attached to them real easy.
You wouldn't if you had to get up before daylight and go out and feed them.
I would.
And after dark to feed them.
I still get attached too easy. But the thing is, honestly, the way people are today, it's a lot safer to raise your own animals.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, you don't know what people are putting in your meat or what they're doing at the stores anymore. So it is safer.
We even raised our own worms.
Yeah.
We'd go out and dig up worms, throw them in a container, a big, like a horse trough or a deep freeze that we had, an old deep freeze filled up with dirt and put worms in it. And then when they got big, we cut them in thirds.
And did you put coffee grounds in them?
Yeah, you sure did. We put coffee grounds in
They
there.
say it makes them multiply a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's good for them. It's good for your flower pots.
Yeah.
And your plants outside. Every time my mom made coffee, she'd take the coffee filters. So it didn't have filters. They had the percolator, so it was just the basket with the little bitty holes all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And she would take it outside and dump it on her plants.
There you go.
Not the garden plants, though. Just the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's around the house. So, but that's the way it is, And we survived.
Yes, we have.
I see people nowadays, their kid wakes up in the morning and they sneeze on the way to the breakfast table. They take them to the emergency room.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, we got insurance. Okay, we do. Got insurance. Yeah.
I was riding a bicycle one time on the handlebars. Not real smart. And I was barefoot. And here I am. We're riding along and my foot got caught in the spokes. It ripped my foot down to the bone. And what do? I walk in the house. I clean it off. I put a Band-Aid over it. I put a sock back on.
Yeah.
Never told anybody I did it.
No, you don't want to tell nobody. You get in trouble.
I was afraid I was going to get in trouble for riding on the handlebars, but I survived it. I've been outside barefoot, and I've stepped on rusty nails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, those hurt. I've stepped on bees, but I survived those, too.
My dad stepped on a pitchfork one time and went right up through the front of his foot.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, and my boy, he stepped on a nail that was in a board, and it went in kind of like an L shaped. The nail wasn't straight; it was crooked to start with.
Yeah.
Well, the guy lived down the street was a EMT, and I took him down there, and he had to think about it to see which way to pull that nail out.
Oh man!
But he pulled the nail out, and he put some peroxide on it, and squeezed it a few times. He said, "Okay, you're all right. You don't have to take him to the hospital or nothing." Yeah.
Well, we survived a lot, I'm telling you. And now you're right. Kids get scratches. Oh, they got to go to the hospital. They get a runny nose. Oh, we got to take them to the doctor. Kids are getting too soft.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even kids anymore. They're just, I don't know even how to explain them.
I wonder how many kids know how to ride a bike today.
Not many. Half these kids don't even know how to go outside and do anything.
Yeah.
And we spent our life outside. Go to school, come home, go outside until supper time, play, come in, do our homework. Then on the weekends, we spent the whole weekend gone. We were outside walking for miles or riding bikes for miles or walking through the woods. Just anything, basketball, baseball. Now, you're lucky if you can get a kid to go outside for 5 minutes without going, "It's too hot, I want to get back on my computer."
I used to disappear from the house in the summertime when there's no school, or on the weekends even. I'd get up early and I'd tell my mom I'm going to go out and play. She said, "Okay, be home by supper."
Yeah.
And we lived in woods. It was southern Illinois, and it was all woods. And the nearest house was half a mile each direction, but all in between was all woods.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd go wading to the creek,
Yep.
not worrying about snakes or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I seen some foxholes. I never worried about a fox coming after me. And I would be in them woods playing all day. But I knew what time supper was going to be.
Right.
Yeah. And I'd always be home. You know, when it's time for supper, or if I wasn't really hungry, she'd just leave it on the table. And she never asked me where I'd been or what I did or anything. You know, didn't worry about me, because if I didn't come home by supper, then she'd start worrying.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we lived in a small enough town that no matter what we did, everybody knew. I mean, we could be 5 miles from the house and somebody, oh, you know your kid was down there? Mom would say, yeah, but you know, they're outside, they're doing things. They're not sitting around, we're not playing video games. We are out doing things.
We lived a mile from a little grocery store. I mean, it was part of the post office and the grocery store and post office, and then the lady lived in the back of the house. And my mom would send me down there on my bicycle to get her a pack of cigarettes and whatever, you know. And what the lady knew, if I come down there asking for cigarettes, I was going to take them back to her.
Uh-huh.
And there wasn't even a note.
Yeah.
They're telling us.
Well, you never know. Mama might have called and said, hey, I'm sending my kid down there for smokes.
Yeah, she might have. I don't know. But it was that trust that she had in me that I wouldn't go in there and ask for them without her telling me to go get them.
Yeah, because back then, I mean, we were a lot more responsible, a lot more respectful, and we didn't want to do anything to get in trouble because we were disciplined.
Yeah.
And we knew what was coming if we didn't. And it's not that we got beat, but we did get our favorite things taken away and stuff, so we learned real quick.
Only time I got disciplined mostly was when I was in school.
Yeah.
And when I was called into the principal's office to get the board on my butt, my mom knew about it before I got home.
Oh, yeah.
And I could never figure it out. How she know? I never got another whooping from her for it, but I got grounded.
Yeah, exactly.
I got yelled at, and that was the worst thing to happen, to get yelled at.
Oh, grounding or getting set in a corner, that just breaks your heart when you're a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think that your life is falling apart.
When we were kids.
Yeah, I got something taken away from me for a week, and it's like, I thought my world was going to fall apart.
Yeah.
But you learned from your mistakes. You didn't do it again.
Right.
So, that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with disciplining your kid. It actually, some kids, yeah, they're still going to grow up and they're still going to do wrong no matter what you teach them. But you have more of a chance of your kid turning out to be respectful and responsible if you do discipline them.
I don't know where everything changed around that, but
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like they say, well, I was whipped when I was a kid, and I'm not going to whip my kids. Well,
Yeah.
Did you turn out okay? Well, yeah, but I didn't have to be whooped. I bet you did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's how they turned out so good.
Yeah, exactly.
And their kids, the kids whoop their parents now.
Yeah. And I'm hearing a lot about how kids are beating their parents. It's like, oh, no. My kid would have never done that because I taught my kids the way Mom taught me.
Yep.
And they got their things taken away from them. And they got, you know what? You don't go with your friends for a week. Your friends don't come over here for a week. You don't do anything. You're grounded.
Yep.
And my kids are grown up. They're not in trouble with the law. They don't do anything illegal. They're not perfect. I'm not going to say they are, because one of them's got an attitude and a half. But basically, you know, they're responsible and respectful. And that, what more can you ask for?
Right. Well, we out of time, so we hope it went pretty good for everybody.
Well, that was quick.
I know. Because we don't have to stop and look things up. We just start talking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to call it a quits on this episode, and we hope y'all enjoyed it. And see you next week, next Saturday, for episode number 4. And until then, everybody be safe, be careful, and whoop your kids once in a while.
It won't hurt them. They'll survive.
And if your kids is listening, hey, yeah.
Learn to be respectful and responsible.
Yeah, stay away from them whoopings.
Exactly.
You only get one to learn.
Yep.
Okay, so until next week, what do we say?
I
don't know.
Yeah, whatever topics.
Whatever topics. See ya.